Welcome to the Planning Commission, April 21st, 7:30 p.m. Everyone please rise and pledge allegiance to the flag. Remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated, please. Sharon, roll call, please.
Mr. Stevenson?
Here.
Mr. Pacusa?
Here.
Mr. Conway?
Here.
Ms. Krypto? Here. Ms. Montgomery? Here. Mr. Gerhardt?
Here.
Mr. Weldon?
Here. I'll entertain a motion at this time to approve or change the minutes from the last meeting, which was, I don't have that date.
March 17th.
March 17th.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Paul?
All right, first item tonight, 21-1-Z, Clover Communities Monroeville LLC. Applicant is requesting to rezone a 58-acre parcel of property which is currently zoned L Special Use into two separate zoning districts. One 10.5-acre area is to be rezoned to R4 multifamily residential, and the remaining 47.5 acres is to be rezoned to R2 one-family residential. The property is located at 3926 Logan Ferry Road, tax parcel 741R333.
The applicant present?
Yes.
Please come forward. State your name for the record.
Rob Jack.
If I may, we have had this in front of us before and approved it.
Yes, sir.
Sent it to council.
Yes.
Council sent it back.
Yes. Denied it? Yes.
Yes.
And so this application's a little bit different from the original application.
Well, basically, what we need to know is what changed.
Okay.
So if they ask for 10 items, we need to hear 10 items that changed.
Okay.
If they ask for 3, we need to see those 3.
Okay. All right. We'll just cut right to the chase. I'll skip some of the background info.
Yes.
So I think there were 4 major concerns, and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong if there were additional. The biggest one was would there be additional multifamily housing developed on the site? Originally, we were proposing to do all 58 acres as multifamily housing. We were only going to develop 10 acres or so of that for our senior apartment project, and then we'd have the balance for future development. So there was concern if there was going to be additional apartments. The neighbors were very concerned that there would be more than one apartment building developed on the site. So with the revised application, what you can see up on the screen now, we're just going to focus on 10 acres, 10.5 acres for multifamily residential, and then the balance, the 47.5 acres shown in yellow, will be rezoned for single-family housing. And I will say the existing zoning's L, which would permit office development, like an office park.
Right.
So by taking this to R2, we're also taking that off the table, that a high-density office development could not come in there. So
Okay.
the neighbors seemed very concerned. They were okay with that being single-family residential, and so that's what we're doing with that back half. Second concern was the 3-story building. Would it be out of character with the neighborhood? What would it look like specifically to the neighbors in Willow Hedge Drive? What would the buffering result in? And so with this site plan, this is kind of zeroed in on our 10.5 acres that we're going to develop as senior apartments. I have 3 views identified, A, B, and C, kind of along the southern edge there. And we had our architect prepare some renderings to show what the houses will see.
Would that be on page 11?
Yes, okay, there you go, right there, yeah.
Okay.
So, this is from, what would that be, the western side. Picture was taken from Browns Airport Road, right behind the houses on Willow Hedge. And this was mid-February, so of course no vegetation on the on the existing, or no leaves on the existing trees.
These elevations are all at eye level?
Yes, so, right, I took
Taken
those.
from eye level?
Yes. Yeah, right, it's not like a drone shot or anything like that,
Or,
correct.
low shot that
That's right.
minimizes the.
That's right. In fact, in this first one, you can kind of see I'm standing there with my phone up a little bit above my head. You can see in the shadow, so, I mean, it's maybe taken a little bit, maybe taken at 6
Oh, I
feet,
didn't
but,
see that. Oh, yeah, I see that.
yeah. Okay, so that's what the building would look like. And again, the building's probably, I think, 230 feet from the back of those houses. I'd be a little bit closer here, standing on the existing airport road. But that's, you know, with the gabled roof, we feel it will blend in with the neighborhood and will certainly not be right on top of the houses. We do have some separation. We intend to preserve that existing vegetation and then add some additional landscaping on that southern edge of our development to kind of augment that and provide some additional screening.
And you're actually at a slightly lower elevation?
No, we're higher than them. We are higher. Our finished floor would be at about 1182. Those houses, I want to say, are at about 1165, 1170.
Ah, okay, I see. I
Yes,
see.
so they are a bit lower. Here's a picture from a little farther up on Browns Airport Road. Again, in this one, you can see kind of the whole length of the building. You can see the double gable roof that we're proposing and the kind of the in and out, the articulation on the building a little bit. Again, not out of character. It's not a flat roof, institutional look by any means. And then this view would be closer to where Browns Airport Road ties into Logan's Ferry Road. I think this is taken from behind about the second house in on Willow Hedge. And similar, you can see my shadow on every one of those, so you can tell where I'm holding the camera. And then here are some views. We augmented the vegetation with what we would plant and kind of an artist interpretation of what, once the leaves are back on the trees, you know, it does kind of shield further or, you know, soften the view of what the neighbors will have on Willow Hedge.
Yeah, I thought those renderings were a great addition to the information you supplied.
Yeah.
Really gives the visual for many of those residents, I think, that had some of those concerns.
I hope so, yeah. I think
Yeah.
a picture is worth 1,000 words for sure. Next concern was traffic on Logan's Ferry Road. I know we talked about that at Planning Commission in December. We did do a traffic analysis and showed what could be developed today with current zoning versus what could be developed with R4 zoning, which would be even more intense than the R2. And the counts were significantly less. So nothing's really changed there from what I presented in December. And then the last point of contention was the driveway location. Originally, we were shifted much closer to Browns Airport Road. Hopefully you can see in the site plan or in your packets there. We've got some separation. We're about 80 feet away from Browns Airport Road with our new access drive. And again, this will all be subject to kind of final engineering when we get into the land development stage, but we do, I should note, there's a high pressure gas line running through our frontage, so it limits how far we can push that road. That northern edge is kind of consumed by that 60-foot high pressure line. And to be honest, we only have about 145 feet of frontage total, so 60 of it's the easement. We're shifting it about 80 feet north, so we're getting as much separation as we can, just so we're not right on top of those folks.
So is that gonna be a single access off of Logan's Ferry Road, or are you gonna have a second entrance off of Airport Road too?
Just the single access off of Logan's Ferry.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not proposing anything off of Browns Airport Road. Probably just close that access point off and, yeah. I can go through the traffic if you want to see that again.
It hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed, no. It's the same material that I presented back in December. Do have some images from some sample projects, some exterior shots.
Again, my main concern was what the council asked for,
Right,
and you meeting those requirements.
right,
Because
right,
we've already seen this and we've already blessed it.
right. Yeah, I think the biggest
We
issue
wouldn't
was,
bless it again if you didn't meet the council requirement.
yes, sir, I understand. I think the biggest concern was what's gonna happen to the balance of the site, and
Right.
could we or somebody else come in and develop 2 or 3 other apartment buildings? That was,
Yeah, that was a big.
that was a big deal, and so by taking it to R2, I think we satisfy that,
I believe so.
concern.
Any other questions from the board?
No, just a comment, I think, I speak on behalf of this board, that, you know, we acknowledge that you've provided much more information here than what's required for a rezoning application, so we appreciate that, and
Sure.
hopefully the clarity gets you better results next time.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you.
Can I ask this is sort of looking forward. These things tend to get emotional with the existing residents.
Yes,
You know,
sure, yeah,
they talk to each other, they get all excited about it.
yeah,
I mean, I've seen that happen in my neighborhood twice, in 2 different places,
okay,
where it becomes emotional
yeah.
rather than rational. If the board is swayed somehow and says, maybe you haven't done enough, do you have any contingency plan with the building location?
As far as going somewhere else on the site with our building?
Well, I don't know, I'm looking at your elevation, your drawing here with elevations, and it tends to have if you would move it, no, if it was this way, most of it would be downhill.
Yeah, the topo gets really steep.
It might be too steep.
It
but-
does, yeah, I think it'd be too steep. We actually get into some steep slopes in there that exceed what's in the ordinance. I think that might be tough to overcome. And there's also some wetlands over in that area as well.
Any other questions from board members? Any in the audience? Not seeing any. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I will make a motion to approve.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate your time this evening.
Good luck with the council.
Thank you. Second time's a charm, hopefully.
Rob, what was your last name again?
Jack, J-A-C-K.
Okay.
I'll entertain one more motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.